Hey everyone, welcome to the Current Case Podcast. We're a group of four friends discussing the latest current events as they apply to our everyday lives. From foreign policy to local events, we cover it all as best we can in a manner not restrained by the bias of the big media corporations. We may not always agree with each other on certain topics, but that is what makes it all the more interesting. Being able to sit down and have a civil conversation on even the most controversial topics is a necessity for a better society.
Hello and welcome back to the Current Case Podcast. This is Season 3, Episode 1. For those who are listening on Spotify, you might be a little confused because the last episode was originally labeled as Season 3, Episode 1. So for this week, we got set up in a new studio. So we're testing out kind of the sound settings and everything else. And also decided that last week's episode, we didn't want to have that start off the season because I also wasn't there for most of the episode. We also felt like some of the topics were a little bit rushed. We didn't have as much to say about them. So for this week, this episode, I should say, will officially start the season. So with that being said, for those who are watching on YouTube, this will be the first episode of the season that you'll see. If you want to go back and watch the previous episode from last week, it'll be labeled as a bonus episode on Spotify. It'll stay up there, so you're welcome to see that. The link, of course, will be on our YouTube channel as well. You're also going to be increasingly active on Instagram and Patreon, so make sure to check those out as well. With that being said, for this week's episode, we have Felicia. Felicia, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi guys, I'm Felicia. I have a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology, and I'm just here to kind of talk about some life things and psychology. Yeah.
All right, well, there we go. Welcome back, Felicia. This is basically your second appearance, but your first ever appearance on our new season. So welcome.
Thank you.
And with that being said, we're ready to jump straight into things here. So first, Macron has been the center of controversy here pretty recently, of course. We had him a couple weeks ago stating that, hey, I'm going to launch the pension reforms anyways. Fuck France. Fuck you guys. I'm going to raise it to 64. And then he decides to be like, oh, peace out, France. I'm going to China. So he visited Xi these past couple days ago and had some pretty interesting things to say about the United States and China. Of course, the whole basic gist of his China visit was to build relations with them. And I think he set up a new business with them as well, or established some type of new business with them. So here we go again. France going down their hole. They're like, working with Russia? Nah, let's go work with China instead.
Same difference, dude. This guy's a real piece of work, I'll tell you what.
Yeah. Has anyone ever told him the definition of insanity? It may be a different country, but Russia's essentially going to be a Chinese puppet pretty soon, and China's arguably worse than Russia, if you can even imagine.
It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It's like the same thing with Scholz, because I know he did a visit back in 2022 to China. It's like, dude, like Germany was way too attached to Russia. That was thanks to, what was her face? Angela
Merkel.
Yeah, Merkel. So it's like, why are you repeating the same exact mistake? You can't work with an authoritarian country that wants to invade another nation, and that will probably end up in war here within this decade. It's like, what's the benefit from this?
I don't know. Quite frankly, I don't think they really know Macron really knows what he's dealing with either.
Macron's a fucking idiot. Can we agree? Like, I remember him at the beginning of the war, or before the war even started with Ukraine. He was like, "Oh, I'm gonna make sure there's peace. Putin told me that there's a deal on the table that will prevent him from invading Ukraine."
Well, that was a big old nope.
Yeah. And like a week later, he invades Ukraine. So
that turned out to be a fucking lie.
This dude's like, he's trying to get France, I guess, onto the political stage and trying to increase their importance, I guess, with the world.
Yeah, but the way he's doing it doesn't make any sense. He's like trying to pander to Russia and China, which are like the worst nations of real political importance on the world stage right now. And it's like, what the hell are you doing? Why would you not want to strengthen your relationship with countries people actually like Germany and the United States and the UK? No, I'll just go with Russia and China, because that makes a lot of sense, dude.
Right.
I do know that in the past somewhat, there was, particularly in the 50s and some of the 60s, France actually kind of removed itself a bit from the NATO command structure, even though it was still technically a part of NATO. They were under de Gaulle, they were in a kind of independence spree around that time, especially with the Suez Crisis of '56.
Yeah.
But honestly, I don't really see any good coming out of Macron leading France in this direction. France is literally one of the 5 permanent members of the UN Security Council.
Right.
Why is he siding with the 2 others that are basically tearing apart the world?
Exactly. And speaking of his comments regarding the United States, he said that Europe should have no interest in accelerating the conflict in Taiwan. It should become a third pole, independent of both Washington and Beijing. So he's like, Europe should be completely out of it. They should have no influence on whatever happens with Taiwan. He specifically said the worst thing would be to think that we Europeans must become followers on this topic and adapt to the American rhythm or a Chinese overreaction.
Well, first off, Taiwan's where everybody, including France, gets our semiconductors these days. So, plus, if Taiwan falls, that'll give China free access to the South China Sea, which is where basically most of the world's shipping goes to. If you thought the traffic jam in the Suez Canal, what was it, the year before, was bad enough, just imagine what would happen if China decided to close the South China Sea.
Right. It's like, it's going to affect you too if a conflict does end up happening with Taiwan. It affects France as well. I mean, from a European perspective, do you think, like, if you're thinking as a European, I mean, would you agree with Macron, like, they should be separated, they shouldn't interfere with what United States affairs, I guess?
Well, here's the thing. Most European nations these days are a liberal democracy, which is also what Taiwan is.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you leave Taiwan to its fate, you're basically leaving the whole, everything that liberal democracies ostensibly stand for out to dry.
Right, exactly. And his comments also puzzled a lot of senior Taiwanese officials as well. They're like, wait, what? They're like, it specifically said, is it okay just to ignore this once it's part of the Constitution, or can advanced democratic countries ignore the lives and deaths of peoples in other countries? And he said, you, France, are one of the founders of international democracy, and you're leaving me puzzled.
Exactly.
I mean, it's perplexing. Like, what's Macron trying to do? He's leaving.
I feel like he's trying to cozy up to Russia and China, because somewhere in his scrambled brains, he's thinking, oh no, China and Russia are going to be a big problem soon. I better get on their good side so they don't smash us into the dirt. But that's not going to happen, dude. This guy's he's just not the sharpest egg in the attic. I'll leave it at that.
Dude, all our world leaders are fucking idiots, to be honest.
Everyone except the Saudi prince. He seems to know what's going on and realize that, you know what, we're kind of in control here. The entire world needs oil. We are the oil, so we're just going to do whatever the fuck we want, you know? We're not going to kowtow to Biden. They're not going to really do that to Russia and China. But if you look, they're really starting to do that whole BRICS thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so more and more countries, I think Mexico just joined BRICS a couple days ago. So we see more and more countries kind of joining that whole alliance.
Yeah, I don't think we actually talked about it on here, but with the Saudis, China, of course, brokered a central peace, you could say, with Iran, where they would open up, the Saudis would open up embassies in Iran once again. Of course, I mean, peace in the Middle East is a good thing, but at the same time, it's China that's the one brokering this peace. So, there's probably some...
an ulterior motive.
Yeah, exactly. There's an ulterior motive there. As Matt said, I mean, OPEC Plus, they control the oil market. I mean, here in the United States, we don't get as effective as much compared in the past with OPEC and their moves, because we produce a lot of gas ourselves now compared to the 70s. But still, I mean, their moves definitely affect us, and affects a lot of Europe too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, with that being said, do you think China had ulterior motives there with their brokering that peace deal?
Absolutely. Basically, so it can be easier for them to do business with both parties.
That's pretty fair. So, like I said, a lot of these world leaders, their moves recently, it just left me. It's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
I mean, Matt, you're flying to France here in a couple days. Take a picture of the piles.
But
a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Take a picture of the garbage piles in France for me.
The riots happening.
Yeah, if I end up going, I'll probably do a special segment for you guys. We'll take lots of videos and record some content from France and give you guys a live update from over there.
Yeah, that'd be some
So join our Patreon. If I'm flying over to France to like take a look at this stuff, like come on, join up. We need it.
Primary source right here.
Right.
Exactly.
I will say this in regarding to Macron. Appeasement didn't work in 1938. What makes you think it'll work now?
Oh, because it's Xi Jinping. That's why.
He's an understanding person.
Yeah, Winnie the Pooh is very nice.
All right, well, what the fuck are you looking at? Jesus.
Credit deducted.
Well, speaking of dumbass leaders here really quick, Matthew, I know he's on his trip to Ireland today, so what the
He's
hell?
fucking asleep at the wheel.
What happened?
So, he's just like fucking out of it.
So
He left some sort of like sensitive document out. It's just blowing in the street somewhere in Ireland. It's like,
Dear
classic Biden. Oh yeah, I didn't.
this shit, dude.
I didn't know I had top secret documents in my garage. Whoops, it's in my Corvette. And speaking of my Corvette, a guy down the street one time was talking about. Where was I in that?
As of the recent
You know,
document.
and then the thing with the, in the place.
As if the recent document leak regarding the Ukraine situation wasn't bad enough.
Oh yeah, that's right. Ash, you want to go over that? What happened there again?
Oh yeah, so, I don't know the exact details, but somehow some key documents pertaining to U.S. assistance to Ukraine in this ongoing war got leaked on social media. Somehow.
Weren't there like leaked documents that said we're spying on everybody too?
Mm-hmm.
I saw that as well. I mean, that's no surprise. We spy on everybody.
It's Google.
It's
Well,
Google. Yeah.
Open secret on that front, pretty much. But,
Exactly.
yeah. And also, I think there was also a revelation saying that Egypt was supposedly planning on purchasing, 40,000 or 400,000 shells or rockets from us, and then planning on selling those to Russia.
Whoops.
Go good shit.
That was good. Help.
Whoopsie.
My bad. Biden's running again in 2024. He officially announced it last week.
What the
So-
fuck?
Rip.
Ay.
Rest in peace, America. Biden 2024. Odyssey.
Our election becomes Biden versus Trump again. Jesus Christ.
Well, I think it would be Trump this time.
Yeah, if that happens again,
Because even
Trump's
the,
for sure.
everyone
They'll
comes
just-
so against Biden.
They'll just
Like,
flip back and forth. Next it'll be Biden again.
Yeah,
Actually, Trump wouldn't even be able to run at that point. But
Yeah.
Unless Trump gets arrested, but papa.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, but as for the
if Trump doesn't get back in the White House, he's gonna be banging on the thing. Trump banging on the White House.
We need to use that Trump AI voice. We gotta bring that on, like they use for the Mario Kart videos.
Oh yeah.
We need to bring this on. Get Obama guest starring on our podcast.
Yeah, but
All right.
that would have been a good thing for April Fools, but too bad. We kind of missed that.
Oh wait, what was that?
You are fake news.
Oh, thanks, Trump.
But yeah, as for
Quiet.
goodness gracious, can I not be interrupted every 5 seconds?
Smart. Jesus.
I'm really rich.
So what?
Thanks, Trump, for that.
But anyways,
Bing, bing, bong, bong, bing, bing, bing.
pertaining to this whole recent document thing related to Ukraine, I do know that it has. There was a bit of an announcement saying that Ukraine is changing its plans in response to this because it may have. I don't know the details exactly, and even if I did, I wouldn't be spreading them on here.
Mm-hmm.
But supposedly it did involve details of the Ukraine's planned counteroffensive this late spring or summer.
Yeah.
And so the Ukrainians are basically going to change their plans for that.
Huh.
But forgive me for sounding a bit crazy here, but part of me actually thinks that it could potentially be something akin to Operation. This whole leak might have been something akin to Operation Mincemeat, where the Allies basically leaked some false information to the Germans in the run-up to the invasion of Italy, which basically misled them.
Right.
It seems unlikely, but the thought did cross my mind that something like that could be happening. Leaks.
It's a good point there, Ashton. How these leaks got out.
I still have no idea.
It'd be like, oh, my bad. Some guy singing in the basement accidentally let him out by accident. He's on his Xbox, and he's like, oh, shipped it off. Whoops.
Yeah. One thing's for certain, we definitely need to just improve our OPSEC.
Probably. But we don't have the funds for that. We have to spend it on more important things like bailing out the banks. Speaking of, all right, China also, they concluded their 3-day exercise this past Wednesday. Got it.
China.
There we go. That's what I was waiting for. They completed their 3-day exercise this past Wednesday, essentially a temper tantrum in response to McCarthy visiting or meeting with McCarthy, meeting with
Tsai Ing-wen.
Yeah, Taiwan.
Tsai Ing-wen.
Tsai Ing-wen in California. But meeting with Tsai Ing-wen in California, and right after that meeting, of course, kind of the same thing that happened with Nancy Pelosi. They said they're going to react to this. I guess their reactions were these big drills encircling the island. One thing I will bring up, though, that I thought, I don't know, not sure if it's something that's normal, but there's still reports now that there's still Chinese ships in the area. I think they said at least 7, and of course Chinese aircraft as well invading the airspace, which that's common, but the ships, that's something of interest, I would think. Ashton, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I did know that from some of the maps released from this latest exercise, some of them actually went to the, I guess, far side of Taiwan relative to China, so kind of the eastern side.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose the simplest explanation for that is they still have yet to get back to their home ports because, needless to say, ships travel a lot slower than aircraft, but...
So what you're saying is you're not in favor of China taking over Taiwan?
I am vehemently opposed to China taking over Taiwan.
What is that?
Minus 999 social credit.
But yeah, simply they could just simply still be making their way back, but depends on whether or not they're taking a direct route back to their bases or if they're planning on, I guess, quote unquote, loitering around for a little longer.
Mm-hmm.
That might be worth something of concern. One thing I do note is that among these ships that were part of this latest exercise, there was a carrier group.
Okay. Is that unusual, or is that pretty normal with these type of exercises?
It's actually quite unusual when you consider China only has 3 operational carriers at this point in time.
Why is that?
Well, for one, they're still building carriers.
Yeah.
Their first carrier was basically a second-hand Soviet ship, actually the same class of ship as Russia's carrier. That was the Liaoning. The second one, I forget what it was called, but it was basically a modified version of the Liaoning's design.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have the latest one, which is the Fujian, which is kind of more similar to the U.S. design, but it's still lacking in some areas. For one, it's not nuclear powered.
Right.
But China has been building more, but still, they've only ever made 3 carriers thus far, compared to 11 at the U.S. Compared to 11 that are currently in service with the U.S. Navy.
So
Karen's going crazy with the soundboard over there.
Yeah, right. What's that?
No.
Stop.
Hello there.
Go crazy, go stupid.
He's pulling his cock out.
Okay.
So Cameron, you're gonna be in charge of these now
Yeah,
because
we're
like
gonna
you have
soundboard
the,
guy.
dude, you have the
Welcome
like
to your new role.
best sense of humor out of all of us.
Welcome to your role.
Yeah. So anytime like someone says anything controversial, so like the classic is just up here, and you just tap that as many fucking times as you want. The Goku drip.
That's good shit.
Get wrecked.
What the dog doing?
Fuck you, China. Put that dog down.
Sus.
China being sus. China, the South China Sea. China, 7 more ships in the ocean. Are you sure about that? China looking at Taiwan, engaging in drills. More drills. Even more drills.
So what you're saying, Ashton, is that basically it could be just as simple as ships returning back home.
Potentially. I haven't seen any up-to-date information on where the ships exactly are or what they're doing, but if they have concluded the exercises, the most logical thing would be to basically go back and, I guess, get ready for the next deployment.
Alright, so what's
Trying to be a mad sus right
now?
now.
Fucking China. So, I mean, I personally don't think, I kind of reflected this year, I don't think China would launch an invasion this year. I don't think they're ready just yet.
Neither do I.
Not this year.
Not this year. I don't think it's happening this year. I just don't think they're ready yet. I think they're completely happy with just kind of saber rattling, basically. Again, everybody riled up and shit, but I don't think they're ready to launch a full-fledged invasion just yet.
Right, and they probably never will be because, quite frankly, amphibious operations are hard. Very hard.
Exactly. They'll do it, though. They'll still do it even if they're not ready, but I think even then they know we're probably not ready, I guess. I mean, what would be the signs of an invasion, an imminent invasion, basically? What would you see China doing in this case?
Well, first off, there would be a massive buildup of ships and landing craft in and around Fujian, which is the closest province to Taiwan.
Yeah.
Another one would probably be an exponential increase in the amount of aircraft there, perhaps forward operating bases, the movement of ballistic and cruise missile launchers on land, closer towards the area, so they can particularly their long-range anti-ship missiles, which they would, I presumably would use to basically cut off the sea lanes.
Okay. So if if these ships hang around the area, what's your suspicion then?
If they stay in there for a prolonged time, then I probably would start suspecting that they might be up to something.
Okay.
Potentially harassment of any shipping going in and around Taiwan, or the worst case scenario would probably be outright commerce raiding, or even starting to impose a blockade. That would be the worst case scenario.
Which in that case, a blockade's an act of war, so it's
exactly. I should mention this. China might not necessarily be able to pull off a straight up amphibious invasion, but a blockade is still something they theoretically, at least, could still be capable of performing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think blockades suck.
There we go. You haven't used that catchphrase in a while. I was wondering where it was at.
Yeah, at that point it would basically become an air and sea battle to try and break the blockade.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing in my swamp?
Basically.
Taiwan seething right now.
Yeah.
Basically.
Taiwan be like,
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on, boy. Get your goddamn ugly ass on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it'll be something to watch here. I'll keep an eye on those ships and see if they still report if they're actually going home or not. I know they also China's closing airspace near Taiwan. Did you hear about that?
I did hear about that.
Uh-oh, retard alert.
Jesus.
But, yeah.
Well, they said, Taiwan's like, because originally they're planning on closing it for 3 whole days, but then apparently it was revised to about 30 minutes a day or something like that.
30 minutes a day.
Yeah, but it has to do with some type of, I think they're satellite information, but at the same time, they also mentioned drills as well. So I have no idea what the fuck they're planning on doing, or even if they're, of course, China's word, we don't even know if it's like real or not. We don't know if it's true. They said, we'll reduce it to 30 minutes a day instead of 3 whole days. But of course, Taiwan and a lot of the surrounding nations are mad because that interrupts a lot of commerce and shit.
Yeah.
So we'll have to watch that as well, because April 16th is when they're going to close the airspace. So we'll see if they actually follow through and keep their promise of 30 minutes.
Yeah. If they start imposing a no-fly zone, that might also potentially be a case belli for an act of war. If they try to enforce a no-fly zone.
Oh, you see this guy? See this guy? Number one bullshit guy. He do the wee.
Fuck China.
But yeah, I will say to close off and
Oh, shit.
goofy fuck. But anyways, I will say this to conclude on.
Jesus Christ.
But I will say.
How long is that sound?
I will say this in regards to China to close off this topic. It may not be very logical that for them to start a war over Taiwan, especially now. But if there's anything I've learned from the Russian invasion of Ukraine, just because it's an illogical move does not mean that they won't go through with it.
Nothing makes sense anymore.
Agreed.
Wacko clown world. But with that being said, let's transition here to some more happier topics. I mentioned this in our bonus episode that instead of covering a third news segment, instead for this season, we wanted to do general life advice. I mean, we're all 20-year-old fucks who have different living situations.
I'm going to be turning 25 tomorrow.
Oh, there you go.
Happy birthday!
Happy belated, or happy early birthday, Ashton.
Skill issue.
Happy early birthday, Ashton, by the way. So we've been around the block for a little bit now. Ashton's going to be 25, so...
Congratulations, Ashton. Yeah.
But yeah, the purpose. Oh my God! Turn off that fucking
that's
sound
enough.
effect.
That's enough.
Enough,
Turn it
enough,
off.
enough. There we are.
All right, but the purpose of this segment, we just wanted to kind of share our own just general life advice, tips, however we survive, basically, just to help you guys as well. So it's going to be kind of a variety of different things. Last episode we covered relationships, and it was pretty brief.
Fucking
but,
barely.
Yeah, barely, but
Barely.
It was brief, kind of gives you the taste of what we want to do with this segment. But for this episode here, Matthew, I believe you wanted to talk about exercise, staying healthy, and the importance of going outside.
Yeah, and I also thought we could talk about like the importance of just keeping your space clean.
It is spring, so spring cleaning is upon us right now.
Yeah, I cleaned out my entire garage today. Felicia's help made it look a lot nicer. So anything kind of within those two realms.
Yeah, so we were cleaning earlier, and when we finished, we were both like, oh my gosh, we feel so much better. Like, it's not as cluttered and crazy, and it looks better cleaning up all the trash. There was so much trash. There were like 3 trash bags full of trash. Trash. How
It's
many
like old
times can I
stuff
say
that had been
trash?
sitting there. It was just like nice to kind of clean it out.
Yeah, that feeling of satisfaction after you get when you clean up something. I mean, my car is absolute shit. Before I cleaned it out a couple of weeks ago, you do feel satisfied, just like old chips and old candy in the freaking in the floor and shit. It's like, well, it's got really bad, but vacuum them out, it becomes satisfying. Like you get accomplished right after, so it's totally worth it. I think decluttering your area, giving it a nice little clean, especially when warmer weather, you can actually go outside and clean out other stuff as well, like your car, for example. So,
Right.
Yep. I guess I know what I'm going to be doing this weekend after our weekly events and whatnot in between work, because I think I need to clean out my car. Also, probably need to clean around my room, and especially some of my aircraft and ship models that I keep around my area. It's kind of a hobby of mine that I collect and create models of various aircraft and ships.
yeah.
So that'll be something for me to do.
Cameron, what are you cleaning?
I'm not cleaning anything.
Oh, fuck.
My bedroom is like a nuclear nightmare level disaster zone,
It makes me
and
feel
I'm
better.
not doing anything to it. I'm not touching it. I've taken 3 trash bags and counting out of there over the past year, and it's still like I've not made any progress. So it is what it is at this point. You know, maybe it'll get cleaned eventually, maybe it won't. I mean, there's only so much one man can do. And
Well, you should do it a little bit at a time. That way it's not one huge project
Well,
that you have to work
Yeah,
on.
just remember the staples
that's
button.
like your opinion.
That was
man.
easy.
It's related to science. It's related to psychology, which I'm about to read to you right now.
I don't believe in that made up nonsense.
Well,
All right,
that's
well,
what you
let's-
educate them.
Let's tie this into psychology right now, okay? So clutter and mess is linked to negative emotions like confusion, tension, and irritability, while organized, tidy homes tend to produce positive emotions like calmness and a sense of well-being. Would you look at that?
Well,
That's so
there's
crazy.
the problem, because it's not just my room. It's like my family's whole house. And it's like there's nothing I can do. We get the dining table cleaned off, and it stays cleaned off for like a week before it's covered in shit again. It's unbearable.
Well, research has found that cleaning can have a number of positive effects on your mental health. For instance, helps you gain a sense of control over your environment and engage your mind in a repetitive activity that can have a calming effect. It has also been found to improve a person's mood, which I can vouch for, and provide a sense of accomplishment and satisfaction.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, I'm very sure. And cleaning, to sum all this up, can benefit your physical health. As I said earlier,
Physical help.
physical health. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Gain control of your environment, improve your mood, increase your focus, have a better quality of life.
Damn.
Okay, I hear what you're saying, but the problem is that a lot of this stuff, probably 90% of it, isn't garbage, it's just stuff, and it doesn't have a home location, but it's not trash,
Yeah.
so I don't know how to get
So
rid of
you
it.
make the home.
There's no home
So
to
you're
be
a
made.
hoarder.
Cameras
It's
are
not
So,
my
working.
fault.
so what
It's not
I'm
my
hearing is you
fault.
have attachment issues to your things.
Well, no, it's like I just don't want to throw away stuff. That's
So yes,
like not
you have
garbage.
attachment issues to your things.
It's not my fault.
See, people like Cameron are what's wrong with society.
No, come on.
It sounds like you need to motivate yourself to actually get your shit cleaned up.
Yes. Okay, so
Oh.
what this article from Very Well Mind says is to start small, like I said earlier. Don't make it into a huge project. Do a little bit at a time, though. It's not a huge thing. Kind of like when you're doing homework. Like, you don't want to procrastinate and wait till the last night to do your homework. Like, you got to work on it a little bit every day.
Well,
Before it's
about
due.
that.
No, that's a whole other thing we have to talk about, but we're not talking about that right now. Okay? So start small, set a timer, commit a time to do it. Like, don't just be like, oh, I'm going to do it tomorrow. Like, actually set a time to do it. If you need help, ask your friends, ask your parents, ask somebody. Be like, hey, can you help me do this? That way they can hold you accountable and be like, hey, like, I'll help you do it.
Hoarding party at Cameron's. Let's go.
Yeah.
Also, Cameron.
Where's your motivation?
That disappeared a long time ago.
Yeah, but, you know, it's just take it a little bit at a time, and that way it won't seem like this, like, huge mountain that you have to overcome.
It's over 9,000.
I mean, I'll admit I have a hoarding problem as well sometimes.
Yeah, have you seen the inside of your fucking drawers? It's like shoved full of shit.
I mean, I get the emotional attachment. It's like
It is hard. It is hard to get rid of stuff.
everything has
But
sentimental value.
I can't think of the lady's name right now, but there's some lady who's, like, a minimalist.
Yeah,
Oh,
Marie
yeah. Does this
Kondo.
item
Yeah.
bring you joy? No.
Yes.
Fuck you.
No, seriously, it works, though. Like, if you look at something and you're like, this gives no spark, no vibes from this, like, get rid of it, donate it, throw it away.
But I'm a historian though, and everything has history, so I have to keep it.
Well,
See, that's what I'm talking
Oh
about.
shit! There we go. Wait, what?
Just do it.
Exactly.
No, fuck
That's
that.
why you need, like the article said, have friends and family to help you. Because it's hard when it's by yourself, like, but if you have someone else to be like, hey, like, you really don't need that,
Yeah.
then it's a little bit easier.
There's probably a bunch of stuff in my desk drawers that I've completely forgotten that had exists in there, so
Yeah.
that'll probably be something for me to look for.
So get out there, clean your rooms, mow your yards, clean out your garages. It'll make you feel better. It really will. I promise. Don't even. We literally cleaned your garage today.
I know, it was wonderful. I can't recommend it enough.
Alright, what else did we want to
I
talk
think
about?
cleaning sucks.
It does suck, but you have to make it fun. Like, put on some music, you know, put on your favorite movie while you do it. I don't know, something to make it enjoyable.
Cleaning is important. I agree with that.
Yeah,
but
put on the Fortnite music.
there you go.
Oh, Lord. Goodness.
It really motivates you to clean. Just listen to that the whole time.
For sure.
Cleaning's good. Cleaning's important, but throwing your own valuable stuff away, now that's where it becomes
That-
difficult.
It is, but it's necessary.
Do it.
If it's necessary if you don't want to be a hoarder.
Well,
Maybe
Or-
you like to be a
Or
hoarder,
about
but
that hoarding.
I personally would not like to drown in my own belongings.
I guess we'll have to sort that out later, literally and metaphorically.
That's a whole nother topic for another day, but
Alright.
just my 2 cents on that.
Come in here and psychoanalyze all of us.
Yes, I know so much now.
Shit, okay.
Alright.
Learn something new. It's the last thing, the importance of going outside as well. Just with the nice weather we have
Yeah,
here in
especially.
Ohio.
I felt amazing
Yeah.
outside today. Matthew and I literally rode our bicycles like 4 miles
Mhm.
today. It was great.
Don't touch grass now.
It's very valuable. I mean, just going outside, feeling that sun, enjoying the warm weather while we have it. Of course, it's Ohio; could change at any fucking minute. You never know.
Yeah.
Ohio weather's
Yeah.
bipolar.
Yeah. I mean, I did actually try to go flying both yesterday and today. The problem was I wasn't the only one who had that idea, and all the planes were booked.
Aw, that
Sucks.
sucks.
But hey, at least going out to walk around in the neighborhood as well as the Narrows Nature Reserve, which is close to where I live,
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
nice to get a breath of fresh air.
Honestly,
Really
though, taking a walk, being outside, literally makes me feel so much better, especially when it's warm out.
Or, playing disc golf.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think Jared
into
and
it.
Ashton, I got you guys into that pretty
Yeah.
recently.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Disc golf is fun.
Yeah, really gotten into it here recently.
I should have asked for a set of disc golf discs for my birthday tomorrow.
I should have.
Yep.
Sucks to suck. Maybe
Sucks
next year.
to suck. Damn.
Next year when you're 26.
Or I'm just waiting until Christmas comes.
Right, exactly.
That'll be sooner.
30 years old. Hey, finally got
Cameron, do you touch grass? Or do you have another issue we have to deal with?
Whoa, what kind of grass are we talking about?
Well, the thing is, I really I hate the heat. I hate sweating.
Oh, he's one of those people.
Emotional damage.
It just really sucks completely. I used to be into skateboarding, but I tried to drop in on a ramp and I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't get it to work. And then the last time I tried, I fell off and hurt my ankle. And then I stopped skateboarding after that. But I still have the board that I built, so I'm gonna try to get back into it. But I don't know, it's too hard. I still can't do an ollie, which is the most basic trick of all. So,
Damn.
I skateboarded for 8 years. I can teach you how to do fucking ollie. It's really easy.
I bet.
Okay, I have my
can't
skateboard
figure it out.
downstairs.
His skateboards are in the garage.
Yeah, we'll go down there after this. I'm gonna teach you how to fucking ollie. It's
All
easy.
right.
On your
Easy.
Patreon video footage.
Oh yeah.
$50.
5,000.
Goodness gracious. If we're gonna charge $5,000 for something, we better make it really something fucking special.
4 big guys, and they bust on my eyes. They eat my ass just like apple pie. If they keep fucking me like this, I might just die. They pop my booties in my car. My dick in the cups.
Oh!
Dripping.
Aye.
Jesus Christ.
That was disturbing.
Cut that out.
Cut that out.
I ain't cutting shit. I told you, I'm the one who edits.
You think
What?
You think I upload my podcast and somebody edits it? No, I am the one who edits.
I'm the one who fucking edits. I ain't cutting shit here. I don't care if you say some racist shit. I'm not cutting anything. Get your asses canceled for all I care.
What about your ass?
I'm cutting that out.
Okay.
Anyways,
Anything else we want?
being outside and cleaning is good for your mental health because your mind and your body are connected. So if your mental health is bad, your physical health is bad, and if your physical health is bad, your mental health is bad. Vice versa. They go hand in hand. So make sure both are good.
It's basically a self-perpetuating. Oh boy.
Okay, no more soundboard after this episode.
So what I was saying in remarks to your earlier comment was it's basically a self-perpetuating cycle. That should have been a good one for Macron.
True.
Oh, it's that laugh. Okay, so
Do I need to repeat what I said?
What did you
Honestly.
say? I can't even remember anymore. The hell is this
Basically,
show?
I need you to PayPal me $4,400.
The fuck? For what?
Just to have
some sort of clerical cat.
Oh, jeez.
PayPal me $4,400.
This is not about going outside.
If I had $4,400, I'd be outside in some other country right now.
You going to France as well?
No. God,
Take
no.
some pictures.
Hey, if it weren't under threat of invasion, I'd probably move to Taiwan since I hear that's a pretty nice country to live in.
Yeah, same here.
What is that face?
All right. Well,
Anyways,
this
I think-
derailed very fast.
Yeah, it did. Okay, back on topic. So
Should I say what I said again?
I don't know what the hell you said.
I think if I recall correctly, it was because she said something along the lines of your mental health is bad, your physical health will be bad, and if your
Yes.
physical
Oh,
health
we
will
got
be
all
bad.
that. We good.
Yeah.
So basically, in remarks to your previous comments, it's basically a self-perpetuating cycle.
Right. It is. I mean, you kind of
Take
have
notes,
to.
Cameron.
You kind of have to keep yourself in check a little bit. You know. I know.
My physical and mental health are great, dude.
And that's why you don't pull bitches.
There's no problem.
Okay, stop. That's.
I'm literally Ryan Gosling. My mental health and physical health are through the roof right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
sure.
You just
He's just like me, dude. He's literally me.
I
keep
would
yourself
watch
in check. I mean, I know seasonal depression is a real thing for some people, and
Yeah, for
Some
me,
people-
that season happens to be the summer.
yeah.
I get summer seasonal depression as well because it's like,
Do you really?
yeah, like honestly, like there's not
I
much
hate
going.
the heat.
Yeah,
it sucks.
I think like the heat. I agree with Cameron. Like the heat, like there's not much going on for me in the summer. Like compare like school's over and stuff. Like I'm used to all these things happening at once, and then like everything ends in the summer. It's like, oh, what now? I'll cut this out.
Anyways, what I was saying was, which I don't even remember anymore. Oh, seasonal depression. That's so weird that you say that yours is in the summer because mine's in the winter. Because it's dark, it's cold.
Exactly. That's
Yeah,
why
I
it's
like-
awesome.
I like the darkness.
Yeah, it rules.
There's more shit going on in the winter. Like we're doing. Like I feel like I'm more active. I mean, it's inside, but still.
I think winter sucks.
I think you
Winter
suck.
rules.
Thank you.
Fall is the best season by
Fall,
far.
I agree. Yeah,
Fall
fucking fall is the
is-
best
Fall
season.
Fall is the best season.
Fall is the best season when it's still like mid 60s, early 70s, but like when the leaves are changing and it's pretty out, then it's like, yeah, it's elite top tier stuff.
Have you talked about your motorcycle in this before?
Not too much, but
We're
yeah,
going
it's a lot of
on
fun.
50 though, so I think probably a topic for another day.
Mhm.
And seasonal depression. We can also
Well,
say
it has
that.
to do with outside.
Yeah,
It has to do with
it
outside.
does.
All right.
It'll be really quick. So when was it? Yesterday.
Mhm.
Yesterday, I rode on the back of Matthew's motorcycle for the first time yesterday. His new motorcycle, and it was a blast. Actually, I was kind of scared for dear life,
Mhm.
and I was holding on real tight. But it felt amazing outside yesterday. And he was like, "Well, do you want to like go for a ride?" And I was like, "I mean, sure, why not?" So we strapped up, got our gear on, and we went for it. And we drove around for like an hour.
Nice.
It was great, but
I mean, to beat my summer seasonal depression, I definitely plan on doing a lot more outdoor things. I mean, when it's not too fucking hot, but like probably a lot more disc golf.
Yeah.
Probably play a lot more tennis as well. Just do a
Should
lot
start
more.
bowling or something.
Bowling.
It's
Yeah.
indoor, but
And
it
bowling's
beats
fun,
the
too.
heat,
Yeah.
and it's a fun activity to do.
definitely be my goal for the summer is to be more active outside too, and more active like in general.
Yeah, I'm definitely trying to play like a lot more tennis.
Yeah,
Yep. Hopefully I can snag some more flying time and over the summer as well.
exactly.
I have
That's fun.
friends with airplanes, so let me know and do a flight.
I
Just pay
will.
for avgas. Okay.
All right.
FAAS, we split gas 50-50 as per
Yep.
the FARAIMs. Trust me, we're good.
That was language I did not understand, but
That's okay.
Does anybody else have anything?
Translation
Really?
for you. They basically need us to split the payment even between all of us for fuel for the aircraft underneath basically the governing rules that dictate air operations.
All right. Well, with that being
Well,
said,
all right, that's all for today, guys. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Current Case for updates and exclusive shorts throughout the week. And if you like what you hear, feel free to support us on Patreon at patreon.com/current_case. This has been the Current Case Podcast. Thanks for listening, and thanks for having me on today.
thank you, Felicia, for coming on, and we will see you guys next week.